Today we're going to look at mixed numbers. Mixed numbers include whole numbers and proper fractions. So here we've got a mixed number. This mixed number is 2 3/5. It's the same as saying I've got two whole amounts and then an extra 3/5 on top of that. So if I was looking at pizzas, I've got one pizza, two pizzas, and then an extra 3/5 of that one pizza, of the next pizza. So improper fractions can be converted to mixed numbers. So an improper fraction is bigger than 1, so we can convert that and show how many whole parts we have and how many of the fraction parts we have. So here's an improper fraction that we have, 15 quarters. Remember, this is the same as 15 divided by 4. So if I divided 15 by 4, I get 3. Okay, so 4 goes into 15 3 times, and we have a remainder of 3. So that means that we have essentially divided our 15 up into quarters, but we've got 3 of those quarters left over. So we have 3 whole amounts and 3 quarters left over. So 3 whole amounts and 3 quarters left over. So that's how we've converted 15 quarters to 3 3/4. You can see here that 3 whole amounts is going to be 12 quarters because it's got a group of 4, a group of 4, a group of 4. We've got 3 whole groups there of 4, 3 whole groups of 4. So that's going to be 12 quarters. And then we've got these 3 quarters left over. So we've got 12 quarters plus the 3 quarters, which is our 15 quarters. If I've got 16 quarters, however, 16 quarters is the same as 16 divided by 4, and we know that 4 goes into 16 without any remainder. So we have 16 divided by 4 is 4. So I've got there 16 quarters. I've got one lot of 4, second lot of 4, 3 lots of 4, 4 lots of 4, 16 quarters. So that's 4 whole amounts. So 16 quarters is the same as 4. We can also convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. Okay, so if I've got 2 2/3 and I'm looking at, well, I've got 2 whole amounts and an extra 2/3 left over, how many thirds do I have in each of these wholes? I've got 3/3, another 3/3, so that's 6/3 in the whole amounts. 6/3 for those big whole amounts, and I've got 2/3 extra. So if I've got 6/3 from those first 2, 6/3, and I add those 2/3, that's 8/3 in total. I can count them all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8/3. So I've converted that mixed number there to an improper fraction. We can represent and have a look at mixed numbers and what they look like on a number line. So here I've got a number line going from 0 to 3, and I've divided it up into quarters. So I've divided each of the whole amounts up into 4 to show quarters. So here from 0 to 1, we've got here proper fractions: 1/4, 1/2 in the midway point, and 3/4. Okay, all the way up there to 1 whole. Now 1 whole is the same as 4 quarters, and then we're getting larger than 1 whole. So here the improper fraction is 5 quarters, and that's the same as saying, well, I've got 1 and an extra quarter. You can see here it's the same kind of point just after 0. We've got the extra quarter here. Now we've got, for the next one, we've got 1 plus a half. We've got 1 1/2 here, and then 1 3/4. Okay, and these are the same as, well, it's the same as saying, well, I've got 5 quarters from here to here. I've got 6 quarters, 7 quarters. So all the way from here, I've got 1, and then I've got 1 1/4. And then I've got 1 1/2 to get to here. So they're the mixed numbers. But you can count all of the quarters all the way from 0 up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarters at this point here. It's the same as saying, well, I've got 1 plus the extra quarter. 6 quarters is the number of quarters all the way up to 1 1/2. And they continue all the way up to 2 being 8 quarters. So I've got 4 quarters and another 4 quarters. That's 8 quarters in total. That's the same as 2. Okay, it's the same as 2 whole amounts. Then all the way up to 3 here. 3 is 12 quarters. Okay, 12 quarters. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 quarters. And that's all the way up to 3 here. You can also see that 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 11 divided by 4 is 2 with 3 left over. 2 and 3/4. 2 with 3/4 left over. It's important when you're looking at a problem, you've been given a problem, to make sure you analyse it. So analyse means to look at it in detail, pick apart and see what the problems are actually asking, to decide whether the answer should be shown as a mixed number or an improper fraction. So to decide means to make a choice, so you need to choose whether you're going to represent it as a mixed number or an improper fraction. For example, if all of the fractions that you have in the problem are improper fractions, and it's not a problem that's a real world problem, it's fine to represent it as an improper fraction, no problems. If you're given mixed numbers in the problem, you should probably represent the answer as a mixed number as well. If you were looking at a real world problem and it was something that you would be talking about in real life, think about how you would describe that to someone else. For example, if you were looking at pizzas and the answer is bigger than 1, you probably wouldn't be saying to someone, oh, you know, I had 9/4 of a pizza. You'd probably say, well, I have two and 1/4 pizzas. So, you know, 2 pizzas and an extra quarter left over. So it depends on the question. You need to analyse it. You need to think about it and decide whether it would be more appropriate as a mixed number or more appropriate as an improper fraction. So here we've got a couple of examples just to convert 3 1/5 to an improper fraction and to convert 20/6 to a mixed number. So for 3 1/5, 3 whole numbers, or 3 whole values, if we were to divide those 3 whole values up into fifths, I'd have 15 fifths. I'd have 5 plus 5 plus 5, 5 times 3, 15 fifths. And then I've got an extra fifth left over. So I've got 15 fifths here, okay, 15 fifths, and then I've got an extra fifth left over. So I can add all of those fifths together and I've got 16 fifths, 16 fifths. So for 26th, if I'm converting that to a mixed number, 26ths is the same as 20 divided by 6. So if I divide 20 by 6, I know I have 3 with 2 remaining, 2 left over. Okay, so that's saying the same as 3 2/6. Now, when I have any fraction, whether it's an improper fraction, I need to make sure that I show it as in simplest form or in lowest terms to show that this is the simplest way that we can get it. This is the easiest way to express it. So I do that by finding the equivalent fraction, and I know that 2 and 6 can both be divided by 2, and I do the same thing to the top and bottom. So I do the same, divide the top by 2 and divide the bottom by 2. Okay, doing the same thing here, divide the top by 2, divide the numerator by 2, divide the denominator by 2. Dividing the top and bottom by 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we can look at comparing it and seeing that 26 is the same as 3 2/6. So here, if I'm looking at 3 whole amounts and they're divided up into 6 pieces, that's 18 pieces in total, and I've got an extra 2, so 18 plus 2 is 20. So we can check our answer as well by just going in the opposite direction and seeing that we're correct.